So let's take a moment to think about how we are going to take this information back to our schools, our districts, or our education agencies, so wherever you're coming from. And I want to know which strategy you are going to bring back to your site. Hopefully, something today resonated with you, something that you felt that would be easy to bring back to your team, your school, your department, and really feel like, hey, I could start implementing this. This wouldn't be hard. So hopefully it's, something that's easy to do that you can embed in something in an existing structure that's already available to your team or your students. As a reminder, Healthier Generation has a guide to help create transformative relationships with your staff. Like I said, it's easy to implement activities, it's got printables, it's got templates that you can really use throughout the year. All of our resources will be going out today in the follow up email as well as the recording. So keep an eye out for that. We also worked through an example of candle breath activity, which can be found in our virtual Me Moments Hub. And here you will find a variety of resources that will help young people and adults, right? We all need kind of this practice and self regulation skills that are easy to implement either during your workday or during your class time with your students, or even as a family engagement opportunity, right? So the link to the virtual Me Moments Hub will also be going out into the follow up email. And if you think your school is doing a great job at supporting student, staff, or family well being, I highly encourage your school to apply to be recognized as one of America's healthiest schools. And America's Healthiest Schools is one of the nation's longest running recognition programs, honoring schools for the key role that they play in advancing the health and well being of the entire learning community. Any K through 12 public or private school in the US is eligible to apply for this annual recognition program that celebrates schools for implementing best practices to support the physical, mental, and social emotional health needs of students, staff, and families. And school teams may apply for recognition in up to 9 topic areas, one of which is staff well-being, which we talked a lot about today. So whether your school team has been implementing staff well-being strategies for several years, or you're just getting started this school year, your school could be recognized at a national level for prioritizing the health of your staff. And the application is now open and closes on April 16th. So to learn more, please go to the website that Kat Satterley has put into the chat. And all of these resources that are shared in the follow-up email can also be found in the Healthier Generation Action Center. So in addition, we're going to introduce one last tool that will help your school or district measure the health and well-being practices you have in place and give you ideas on how to improve based on national evidence-based best practices. So we know that school systems are increasingly recognized as really a center of support in their communities. So in addition to providing education and academics, schools are now called upon to meet families' childcare, social, emotional, physical, nutritional, medical needs, right? Schools are playing such an important community hub. So to support your schools and districts, Healthier Generation, along with Kaiser Permanente, the USDA, the CDC, CASEL, and other expert consultants in the field, have created the Thriving Schools Integrated Assessment. And this assessment identifies and responds to the critical needs to equip schools with resources to support children and educators' physical, mental, and social emotional health. So we're actually going to jump into the Action Center to check out what this looks like in practice. So let me just navigate there. So this is our Healthier Generation landing page where you will find our Healthier Generation Action Center. So when you are ready, you're going to go ahead and say, I want to take action. And this will bring you into the Action Center. Everything in our Action Center is 100% free. So you just need to create a login, and all the resources, all the Thriving Schools Integrated Assessment, everything on here is free. And the cool part about our Action Center is when you create your login, you can actually hook up your account with the school or the district that you are working with. So as you can see, I have some schools that are under my belt. These are just like little tester schools. But you can also see I have connections with Chula Vista Elementary School. And this is like a live assessment that they are doing throughout their schools and districts. So This is our Thriving Schools Integrated Assessment. I'm going to go ahead and jump on in, just give us a little quick tour of how to navigate. And once you're in the Thriving Schools Integrated Assessment, today, like I said, we focused a little bit on staff well-being. So I'm going to show you that we have assessment questions for really so many different topic areas that you can assess your school, and not in like a judgment way, but just in a, hey, we're interested in increasing our practices having to do with whole child health and integrated whole child health. So, where are we at and where can we be going? Is the point of this assessment. We have different topic areas such as increasing family and community engagement, improving nutrition and food access. We also, like I said, have a topic area around staff well being, which we're going to jump into right now since we talked a lot about it today. So, since you all are all here and really taking an interest in relationship building for your staff, your students, your families, I want to kind of guide you towards how this assessment can help you in this practice. So, in our question 8, we have positive staff relationships are promoted by my school. And so, when you click into that question, you will see that there is a question there once it loads. And then you can then assess or rank where your school or where your district is at. So, just being honest of, hey, I think we're kind of partially in place. We're doing a little bit, but it's not super sustainable. So we're right here around partially in place, or maybe we're not even doing anything at all. So not in place. Or you might be thinking, we're doing so much. And so we actually are fully in place and we're doing a lot of great things to help our staff feel connected to each other. If this is something that you're wanting to work on as a school team, say you're partially in place and being like, hey, we really want to, this is why I'm at this webinar. I really want to know how to improve those staff relationships in my own site. And I think we're only partially in place. How can we kind of level up to mostly in place? How can we get something going at our school? You can go onto this panel on the right hand side and look at all of these related resources that we have already curated for you. So some of them are healthier generation resources like that Get Connected guide that we saw in the presentation. And then there's also ones that are from like the CDC and national health leaders. So we've kind of gone through a lot of the resources on a national level and compiled them in one spot to give you a really easy way to get started of, hey, I'm interested in this topic area. I want to do something at my school for this. And we already have a bunch of resources that we can start looking at to get something going at our school or in our district. You can also invite your other team members that you're working with into the action center. So they would create an account. They would also hook up their school to your or their account to your school, and you can work on an action plan together. So you can together identify, hey, these are the 3 things that we want to work on this school year. Add it to our action plan so that we're nice and focused and targeted. And then we also have planning tools. So you can create tasks, add tasks. I already added one in of, hey, I need to send out an email. So you can add tasks, you can rank them, you can cross them off. I always love, getting the checklist and having it cross out every time I'm done with a task. You can also add in notes as well. So I've already said, hey, I got my admin approved us to do something with staff well-being and staff relationships on this day so that it kind of acts as a progress marker for your team. So it's supposed to be used as kind of this comprehensive tool to really help you assess, where are we at? Where do we want to go? How are we going to use resources to get there? And how are we tracking our progress? How are we working together to make it happen in our school? So highly recommend that you go ahead and join us in the Healthier Generation Action Center, and that those links will be sent out after the presentation in the follow-up email. And with that, I am going to, one more slide for me. I do really value everyone's feedback. And just for me, I would love to have some feedback on presentation, what resonated, what didn't resonate, how can we improve this in the future? So if you could just take 2 minutes to take out your camera phone and scan the QR code using the camera. It is a very short feedback survey. I would really appreciate that.